Okay, I think we are going, and it is going live, so we're just going to go with this. All right, great. We've got quite a few people turning up today, which is cool, and we have just clicked over to the hour, which means we're going to get started on this masterclass about confidence on camera, to really help you talk about what you do as an herbalist and ultimately grow your brand so that you can reach more people, and as a group, all of us together can bring herbalism to more people throughout the world, whether that be through the products that you make, the services that you offer. Maybe you have some sort of class or workshop that you do. Maybe you're growing the herbs and you want to get that into the hands of people, or maybe you even have like a physical place, a shop that you sell herbs from, and you want to reach more people. Video is such a great way to be doing that, especially in the current world that we live in, where many, like most of the people around the world, do have access to viewing of these videos and being able to portray yourself and what you do as an herbalist through video content makes a huge difference. But I know that it is something that is very tricky and holds a lot of people back from actually getting out there and starting. So that is what today's masterclass really is all about, because at this point, getting on video and explaining what I do is something that I am pretty comfortable with. And there are like a couple of things that really do help me in the various phases of getting up and starting for a video. And that is what we are really going to be getting into today in this session, because that is what I think is the most helpful for you. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through like the 4 main phases that I think are important to consider when you are creating videos, and especially in the way that you set yourself up as a person so that you can show up in the most confident and kind of put together way. And so they're pretty kind of self-explanatory phases. It's like the preparation before the video. There is the like just before, like the warm-up, like before you hit record. There's during the video, there's like certain tips and things like that can help you when you're actually in the process of recording. And wait a minute, did I do that wrong? And there's after. That is so there's before preparation, yeah, exactly like that. Right. Now that is what we're going to be going through, and then at the end I've got a couple of more like secrets that I want to share, like my kind of top things that have helped me. And also a couple of extra tips from Caitlin, who's on the call today as well. But we were talking about this in preparing for the Herbal Circle. Kind of, we've got a challenge coming up in February, and so she contributed a couple of tips as well. Caitlin and I are both involved in kind of moderating the community and working out what's going to happen inside the Herbal Circle. And today's masterclass is a part of the Herbal Circle, as far as we have Herbal Circle members on today, because this masterclass is specifically to give you the tools and ideas to put into practice throughout what we're going to be doing in the Herbal Circle in February is the confidence on camera challenge. So we're going to be putting it out there to the group and encouraging everyone to be creating at least 3 pieces of new video content with the tips that we learned today. But obviously this masterclass today is open to everyone, so I hope that everyone can get a lot out of this. And then if you would like to join us in February, there are, I'll just get into the details at the end, but there are 2 options. Basically, you can join the Herbal Circle or join up just for the challenge. But before we kind of get into any of that, I really want to use the time on this session to really help you as much as you can to feel more confident on camera, which this session is all about. I wanted to check in the chat quickly because I know that there has been stuff that I wasn't looking at. Also, I just wanted to mention, Caitlin, I know you are on the call today. I think it's probably a better idea if I don't monitor the whole chat during this call, but if you can monitor if there's questions throughout the whole session, can you keep track of those and pass them to me via our messaging system, and then I'll see them at the end as well. Just so I think that's going to be this is a little tip while we're going here. If you have too many things going on at once, you're going to get overwhelmed. And for this session, my true purpose is about being present with you, and that is where I want to be. And so the chat, I'm going to answer. If you have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to let me know, and Caitlin will be monitoring that. And if they are urgent ones, you can also message earlier as well, Caitlin. I'll just get my messaging thing. All right, good. All right, let's get into this. So the first phase, like I mentioned, is about preparation. And so this is about thinking about which type of video you're going to create, what the purpose is for, and what you're going to be doing. So there are so many different types of videos that you can create, which you have probably seen from a viewer perspective as well, okay? And the first thing that is really really important when it comes to the preparation is does this idea excite you? Is it something that interests you? Is it something that you really want to do? This is just the first checkpoint, because if it's not something that you want to do, if it's not something that you're excited about, if it's not something you're interested in, it's going to show. And it is so much easier to come across confident and happy and you actually want to be on video if it is a topic that you like. So really think about that before you just randomly create videos. Is it a place? Is it something that you want to show up on? And that's really the first kind of, I guess, barrier. Just think about that first and make sure it is a video that you want to create. And then think about the purpose of why you're going to be creating a video as well, and what type of video would show up well in that case, okay? I'm just going to change the, basically here it's important because there are different types of video depending on what you're doing. So we have a live social media, for example, like a Facebook Live, an Instagram live on TikTok, something live is a certain type of video. This is one where you can in real time get comments from people and really engage with people. But you also need to be more ready to react and respond to them as they go about that live phase as well. So there's that type of video. There is also a pre-recorded social video. So these are things like reels, posts that you might do on YouTube. There are Facebook videos, any sort of social media videos that you can pre-record in advance and then post, or schedule even to post as well. This is often a good option for people who are a little bit nervous with that live aspect, because you can pre-record it, and if you don't like it, there's no pressure to post. You can just delete that and keep it in your little camera roll to look back on and see how much you've improved in 2 years' time and have a little laugh. There's that idea that you can pre-record it and post it when you're happy with it, if that makes sense. There's also a educational webinar style thing. So this might be more suited to people who are herbal teachers or have products and would like to educate your audience or potential customers about your products. So you might be able to do some sort of educational webinar, something like that. This, for example, is an educational webinar. I am giving what I know to everyone who turns up, and I like this type of content. For me, it works well for me because I just get to share something that I know about, and it feels like it's something can help other people as well, which I like that. And it's also longer form, a webinar style. It's usually longer, and this is, for me, it works well because you can make a little bit of mistakes along the way, but it's okay because it's so long. There is a little bit of understanding there, a flexibility as far as that goes. And you have more time to connect with people, but it depends on what you like doing, and we'll get into this in a minute. There is also a sales video, and so these ones are usually shorter, a lot more polished, and are more about exactly telling people what your products are about and why they should buy. So these ones are a little bit harder to do, but often like three minutes or so. So a lot less time. And those ones there, you kind of need to even have more confidence, more energy in the way that you present yourself, because it's even more important that you are giving people that trust and really portraying that. Then we also have connection videos. This is something that I think is a little bit newer, and I think it's going to become more and more important into the future. So this is it can be live, but it's usually pre-recorded videos once again, but it's ones that you send out to people kind of behind the scenes, not so much on social media, but specifically to connect with people. You're going to see this a lot more in the Herbal Entrepreneur brand, because this is something that I think is very effective in communicating with people and really connecting, really. And so the idea is that you can send people an email with a video, say like, have a look at this video, and then having a short little 3-minute video with a little story and a little something that someone can take from that video right away. So like the purpose of it is not to sell. The purpose of it is not to reach new people on social media. The purpose is just to deepen the connection with your existing audience through a little short helpful video. Like that's all it is. So it's just like a connection video. And also there's meeting videos. So this is like where, as an example, in the Herbal Circle, we have the tea room, which is where we all come on to a Zoom call and we talk about what we are doing in our herbal business at that point. And it's really interesting for me because often people who join this Herbal Circle at the beginning are a little bit timid to come onto the calls, first of all, but even more than that, they're timid to turn the camera on. So if we have a look today at who's turning up, for example, we've got like around 16 or so people who have their video turned on. Not all of the videos are faced at the person though. I can see one fan, but like there are another 50 or so people who don't have their videos turned on yet. And so if you are feeling uncomfortable with being on video, a really nice and easy way to start to feel more comfortable is like turning your video on in situations like this one and similar to the tea room in the Herbal Circle as well, because it's a pretty low key as far as there's quite a few people on here. We're not specifically going to be watching you, most likely. And it's more of an opportunity just to get used to seeing yourself on camera. And the more you do something like this, the more you're going to feel comfortable being on camera. And I think that this has been a good way for me to get, like, it's really, really helped me become more comfortable on camera, because I worked for like 3 years before I started the Herbal Entrepreneur Conference back in 2019. I started in 2015, so 4 years. For 4 years, I was working virtually with clients all over the world, but every single one of these clients, I had never met any of them in person. They were all like, we did all of our communication via Zoom on video, and just like continuously doing videos, I got a little bit more comfortable doing like that. And then also another thing that helped me was that I live really far away from my family. And so I often do video calls with my family because it makes me feel closer to them. And just like even doing like a WhatsApp video call, or back in the day, a Skype video call, I usually do WhatsApp these days, but the doing that regularly, it starts to make it feel more normal. So if there are like relatives that don't live close to you, it could be a really nice way for you to start becoming more confident by just calling them with video instead of audio, because it's like, first of all, you get to connect with them more, but you'll probably become more confident as well, actually like talking on video if you do things like that more often. Okay, so they are the types of video. I'll just like I've got my notes here, so I'll just put it up to the screen just to check that everyone's got there. So like the types of video, where are we at? There. types of video is so that there's a live, there's a pre-recorded social, there are the webinar, the sales, the connection, and the meeting style ones. The next part that is always still part of this preparation phase is working out exactly how you're going to prepare for the video, okay? Because in my opinion, there are three main ways of preparing for videos, okay? And I am curious if you would like to let me know in the chat if you currently prepare for your videos. The ways that I've come up with are either creating like a full-on script, like word for word script, to work out how you're going to do it, writing out down dot points of what you want to cover in that video, or just free form, putting up the camera and talking it out. They are the like three main ways that I have personally tried. I am curious to know which ways you in the chat have used. So have you tried all three? Have you tried just one of those? Or have you tried something else that I'm not aware of? I also, like, while we're getting those answers in the chat, I really would love it if everyone does write in the chat. If you've used none, that's fine. If you've never done a video, let that know as well. But just which ones, I'm curious to know what people usually do. But I also did want to mention, when it comes to an actual script, there are some pretty cool apps that you can use to put the script in. So if you're not confident on video and you need some help with actually the words that you say because you know that you're going to get nervous, you can use apps like I've personally used one called BigView, which basically you can put in the text that you want to say, and then the transcript of it kind of goes through the app. And you can literally record yourself inside the app as you read the text. And this like really does work well if you practice with it, and it can even look very natural, like your eyes don't kind of move like you're reading. Because it's on your phone, the words are all quite close together and you can't really tell that it's a teleprompter. It's like what someone reading the news would use, but it's actually just on your phone. I'll see if I can just show you this quickly. What's in the video section? Yeah. So the one that I use is this one. I'll see if I can, no, it's too white. It's called BigView, but you can basically, it comes up with the exact script and it brings it through. But there are other ones that you can use as well. If you like search teleprompter in the App Store, something could come up if it's something that you're interested in. Now I'm going to go back to the chat just to check this out because I am curious. So a ton of people have never done a video, which is pretty exciting because I hope that we can encourage you to at least create like one video as a result of this, but really see how it goes. We've got freeform, all live, not made videos yet, mostly freeform, script, fully scripted dot points, and oh yeah, got it. Okay, great. Freeform and planned, yep, great. The never a dot point video. And I would really recommend everyone to experiment with each of the three different types, because you'll start to see what works for you and also what works for different styles of videos as well, because it really does depend on like your internal energy and what you like to be doing and how you like to do things. But you can experiment with different ways, because I personally find that myself completely freeform is not as useful for people, because I get off track and end up feeling uncomfortable because I start talking about things that don't matter and things like that. Whereas if I have dot points or a really good idea of what I'm going to be talking about, it gives me a little bit of more direction and flavor, if that makes sense. But I personally prefer the dot points one, where I have an idea of what I'm going to be talking about, but not completely set in stone, apart from like very much salesy videos where I work out what I'm going to say pretty well beforehand. But it's worthwhile to try it out to see what works for you, and also for different purposes of videos, because like there are like connection videos with people, it is a little bit more real. If you just freeform live on Facebook or Instagram, etc., like it can feel more close to someone and those sort of things, whereas more planned videos have a different purpose. Okay. And so the final thing when it comes to the preparation phase is the set, props and camera. So working out exactly what you want to do and how you want to set it up. This is really important, and I would really recommend you to consider exactly what the video is going to be used for and what makes the most sense for you. As an example, for my interviews for the Herbal Entrepreneur Conference, I am very intentional about the way I set up my background and the set, for example. So I have like a plain green background with this exact, or one like this one, a white shirt on. And the reason for that is because I want to be not kind of the center of attention. I would prefer the other speaker to be the center of attention. So I like have a plain background, a plain shirt, and try not to draw attention to myself. But I do have good lighting and good camera and good microphone as well, because this is important for the quality of the videos, especially if people are going to be listening back to that video, the audio afterwards. You want it to be a pleasurable experience for them. So I have a very good quality mic that I use for that, so that people can hear me well and it sounds good. But I wanted to mention this because for today's video, I actually chose not to use my really good mic. I've got just kind of standard mic today. I'm actually using my webcam, and I'm using the microphone that is built into the webcam today. And I did this for a reason, and that reason is because I wanted to be more comfortable. It is honestly a lot less difficult to set up than having the microphone and stuff like that around me. And having this here, I have my hands completely free. I have this space around me where I can talk and really engage with you, which is how I want this session to be. And this is different from the Herbal Entrepreneur Conference that I run, because that's where I'm not supposed to be the center of attention. I'm supposed to take that step back and allow the speakers to share what they have to share. And so it's different. And this will depend as well on your videos, what is the purpose of that video? What do you want that to do? Like, do you want people to see how your products are used? Do you want to demonstrate your expertise so that someone would want to book a clinical consultation with you? Do you want to allow people to see the behind the scenes of the process of how you create products so that they can connect with you as a small business and eventually want to buy your products? Like, what is the purpose? And what is going to make it easy enough for you to actually create that video? So just thinking about all of these things, and it doesn't have to be the same for every video. Each video has a different purpose, and you can have a different set for each video. Like, that's totally fine. So just keeping that in mind, thinking about like this video, why am I creating it? What is going to be the best way to create it? And how can I make it as easy as possible so that this video actually gets created and out there? Like, that's just the really important part there. So that is the preparation phase done, which this is my little outline of this. So we've got the, are you excited about the idea, first of all? Then what type of video makes sense for the purpose? Is it a live social media, pre-recorded social media? a webinar, educational webinar? Is it a sales video or a sales webinar? A connection video to really build that engagement with your audience? Or is it a meeting style with someone, like even a job interview counts as a meeting style, by the way. Then what type of outline, what sort of preparation do you want to do for that video? Do you want to like prepare the full script? Do you want to do an outline of the dot points? Or do you want to just like have the idea and free form, get out there and do it? And then finally, the set, props, and camera. So I talked about the set and props, camera. I didn't actually talk about props. Props is can really help to make a video more engaging, and it can also help to take the emphasis off of you as well. So I today decided specifically as well to use paper and in person rather than having actual slides and screen sharing. The reason for that is because I didn't want to switch between screen sharing and my face, and because today's video is so much about confidence on camera, I wanted to have an example of how you can feel confident on camera. And so I wanted to be on camera the whole time. Okay, so, all right, there we are. That's the first phase. We'll get on to the second one. So the second phase is about like before. And so this is before you actually get on camera. You've got the plan out there, but you are kind of getting ready to record. This is also a very important phase because it sets the tone for how you are going to feel and how you are going to look when you actually are recorded, okay? And so the first step when it comes to this is getting into the right frame of mind. If there is like one thing that I can like just say you must do as the baseline for this is like rest, eat, and hydrate, okay? Like if your body is feeling healthy and good, you are going to feel and look and just be so much better as well. And like this is not even just for video, this is in general, but it shows on video. So like really do what you can to prepare for this. As an example, I knew I had this webinar today. I have quite a lot of behind the scenes admin stuff to do, and often I do this late at night after my kids go to bed. But last night I said to myself, look, it doesn't matter, even if I have all of that admin stuff to do, I am going to bed at the same time as my bed, as my kids, sorry, not as my bed. I'm going to bed at the same time as my kids last night. And so I went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night and actually slept for 12 hours last night, like from 9 until 9, because that's how long my kids sleep. And usually I would sleep a lot less than that because I use that sleeping time with my kids to catch up on like work admin stuff. But because I knew I was going to be recording today and I wanted to be fresh and good and just like ready to spend this time with you, I slept for 12 hours. And do you know how good it feels when you sleep for 12 hours? Like you feel really good. And so like just that, that sets you up for being able to actually have confidence on camera as well. So like that is priority number one, like rest, like just make sure you get that sleep, and eat and hydrate are really important. The next is like mentally working yourself up through it. This is a really interesting one because like I treat a webinar like this, for example, as like a mini performance. I used to do kind of drama performances in high school, and I would get really nervous before you would perform, like, you know, butterflies in your tummy and like just feeling nervous. And I get like that before a webinar like this one. But it's not even a bad thing because it kind of turns into energy when you're performing. And so it's okay to feel a little bit like before you're recording because it transfers into energy once you practice these skills to actually talk clearly and get it out there as well. So like, in this, I term this as mentally working yourself up. If you're naturally kind of a little bit nervous, you may not have to work yourself up, but I like to think about what I'm doing, what's coming up. Like honestly, it only takes me about half an hour before I think probably sometimes an hour I start to like feel a little bit nervous. Yeah, about an hour before a video like this one, I would feel a little bit nervous, and I start thinking about it and running through what I'm going to be talking about. I am a little bit of a last minute person. So these notes that I kind of created, I did this in the hour before this call. I already had it written down in a different section in like, but I wrote down everything again so that I was really clear on it while I'm doing this. So I was like kind of refining my whole process and working out what I was going to be saying in this session in more detail by writing it for a second time more clearly with each of my ideas on a different piece of paper. And that kind of mentally prepared me. I knew what I was going to say, and I was just like calmly working myself up because I was feeling calm about what I was going to present because I was writing it down. I knew what I was going to be saying, what was important for me to share, and I felt like I was in control of what I was sharing. And then it was also just, it's fresh in my mind, which is good as well. So we've got rest, eat, and hydrate, mentally work yourself up, and then like warm up, okay? Your warm up for a video really will depend on what works for you. I'm going to share a couple of different ideas that I have heard from other people, and I also I worked with a like confidence on camera and speech coach 2 years ago, and I learned a lot of things from her and working with her, and I'm going to share some of the things that she shared with me as well. Her name is Tanya Target Camacho, if anyone is interested in looking her up, but she actually did a masterclass with us 2 years ago, and after that I worked with her to get some specific feedback on the way of presenting and things like that. But so this is about like warming up your body and mind, getting ready for a video before it. It doesn't have to take long, but it can, depending on how much you want to get ready for a recording for a video. But it can be things like physical stretches, like, you know, moving your body, just making sure you feel soft and ready to go. It might be like warming up your face, doing facial exercises. So like, you know, the different, just feeling like it's all different, warmed up. You might prefer to put some music on and dance and just loosen up, or some pump up music and get ready for it. It might depend on the type of video, what type of warm up you want to do. You might want to do tongue twisters, like whatever sort of thing to get your tongue moving and the words coming out of your mouth. It may also be like yoga poses. You might just like stretch up as high as you can. You might get up and move around. It really just is about what works for you to get you into the right frame of a mind. Another thing that can be important as well is to think about your appearance. So maybe just go into the mirror and like check that you're kind of happy and confident with how you look and feel, and if there's something that you can do to change to make yourself feel more comfortable, go ahead and do that, because the more comfortable that you feel, the more confident you will come across as on the videos as well. And the final step for like before the video is an emotional anchor. So an emotional anchor is something that kind of sets your body up like a memory of that makes you feel happy, or makes you feel the emotion that you want to come across in the video actually. So as an example, like I think about a time when I had walked from my house to, and it's good to have a specific memory. I'm just giving you an example. I think of a specific time when I walked from my house to the town nearby our house, which was about an hour walk, with my 2 kids. And we like walked up to this little area where there's a playground there, and my 2 kids having so much fun going down this like big double slippery dip. And then like I'm saying, okay, it's probably time to go soon, but we'll just have one more time. They're like, one more time, yes. And then just like ran to the ladder and we're like ready to go down again. And just seeing that joy on their faces and knowing that I wasn't actually in a rush, and just allowing them to have that fun and having that one extra ride, and that happiness on their faces, that makes me happy. And so thinking about that particular time before I start a video sets me up in this like, I have time to stay there and let my kids have another go on the slippery dip, and that makes me feel happy, and that is my emotional anchor that then like kind of filters out into the video that I'm about to create as well. So as an exercise for you, you might be able to think about some sort of emotional anchor, something like a particular memory that makes you feel happy or makes you feel the emotion that you want to come across in your videos, and think about that particular instance before you actually hit record on a video, because it's a really good way to anchor your body and allow yourself to channel that when you actually do it. All right, so we've got that. We've got the preparation. This is before. So we're like basically starting with rest, eat, and hydrate. Then we are mentally working yourself up to do it. And then we're going to warm up. There's all sorts of different ways you can do that. Honestly, experiment with what works for you. You can like do movement, tongue twisters, yoga, dance, music, anything. And it's really about for you what works well for you. And then finally, I would recommend having some form of emotional anchor. So this is just thinking about that memory to set yourself up on the right emotions before you actually hit record. Now, let's get into the during phase. So this is when you're actually hitting record. Here, when you're actually recording, energy is the most important thing. Like really how you come across on video. You are going to be engaging, or you're maybe not going to be so engaging, depending on that energy and the way you kind of portray yourself on video. And this is where like practice definitely does make perfect, but or better anyway, but there are some things that can really help. And the first one is honestly to realize that the video sucks up a lot of your energy. So you have to overcompensate for that. If you could watch me here in person, you would probably think that like, what the heck is she doing? Like got her hands all over the place and like talking really loud. I think my kids can probably hear me from 2 floors below because I'm talking quite loudly, and it's larger than life because it needs to be, because this camera right here sucks up a lot of my energy. So being a little bit larger than life is okay on video because it allows your message to come across, and just knowing that and doing that and practicing doing that really does help. It is also worth noting that you can choose the level of energy that goes out into something as well, because I have personally found that when I have become more confident on video, I have also become more confident in like in life personal situations as well, because I use some of the same skills, and it's just about toning that down. So I'm obviously not going to be all over the place and this huge amount of energy in person, but like a little bit higher vibration, a little bit higher energy than what is kind of normal. It does actually help to draw people into you. It does actually help people to be interested in what you have to say. So you may be able to use a lot of these techniques in other situations. Like maybe if you are a product maker and you go to farmers markets and you want to talk to people about your products, using the same sort of energy that we're talking about today. And these same techniques can work for this sort of thing as well. Like an emotional anchor to set you up before you start a product market and those sort of things. It can really help to set the tone for those things. So like, it's such a good skill to learn. And like, I really hope that those of you here today do put this into practice, because I think it's really important. So the first thing is the energy does get sucked up by the camera, so overcompensate for that. And the second thing that I really wanted to go into for the during while you're recording is about body language, okay? Because body language shows a lot about how comfortable you are and how you want to be on camera. So there are really simple things that you probably know already, but it's just more about being aware of them so that you can show up in the best way possible. So things like sitting up straight, for example. Also, where the camera is placed on your body. If you can see, I have like a really small amount of space above my head. It's only here. And you can see like down to here on of my body, like quite a lot of my body. And this means that the screen that you're seeing is mainly me. There's not like, I'm not, down here and you can just see my neck, or I'm not slouched over, that's even worse. It's about like taking up most of the space because that engages most of the space. And it comes across better on camera as well. Before working with a camera coach, I thought that the face was supposed to be in the middle of the screen. So like I thought the right spot to be was here, but that's not right. The right space to be is a little bit higher than the middle because it gives you more of your body in that frame. So you can go a little bit further back if you want to, but like it doesn't, but allowing yourself to be in the frame is really important. When you are doing videos, it's important to keep eye contact as well. Looking at the actual camera lens is best rather than the screen. I sometimes do look at the screen just because it gives me a little bit of comfort, but ideally at the lens is good. It depends again, like if I was doing a sales video, I would make sure I'm only looking at the camera lens exactly. When I'm doing something like today, I do kind of flick across. I have my screen on the faces version, so I can see everyone's faces, and that kind of helps me to check that they're kind of nodding along or whatever, things like that. So again, it depends on what you're doing, but in general, eye contact is really important. Another thing that is important, and this is really important for sales videos, but it is important for all videos, and it's about like smiling. Okay, so again, the coach that I worked with, she called this smilesing, which was like smiling with your eyes almost. Like it's so even when you're talking normally, you have a bit of a happy feel to you. And this is important because people trust you more when you are feeling, when you're looking happy and in control. So it's really about, like, you can see when I'm smiling, my eyes, I guess a bit closer, but it's about like the feeling, like when you're kind of bored or reading, it's like this, but then when they're smiling, it lifts the actual eyes. But even if your mouth isn't smiling, you've got your eyes that are looking happy. If you can see they're like more engaged and happy, that is what's kind of when you're actually trying to actively engage people and really get them to listen to what you're saying in the video. That is something that you can do to come across as more confident. So just as simple as like keeping a smile while you're talking, that like on its own will make you look more confident on camera. Like just doing that on its own will actually help you. So it's worthwhile practice. Like you don't have to like overdo it, but just keeping in mind, keeping that like general contentment over your face, it will make you look more confident. So it's something that's worthwhile practicing. Perhaps after this video wraps up, you could take 2 videos saying the same thing on your phone and practice it. Like try it without smiling, and try it with smiling, and see what the difference looks like for you. Another thing that is actually a good thing to do with videos, and this is especially so for longer videos like this one, is to use your hands. You've probably seen me in today's session using my hands a lot. I do get comments about my hands sometimes on YouTube videos that I do, because I do have very overactive hands. I have always kind of talked like this a little bit, but even more so now that I live in Italy, because everyone does here. But the talking with hands is actually a really good thing on video, because it keeps you engaged. It might surprise you what I do with my hands, but like it lets you be it comes across as more engaging. So if you've kind of tried to talk with your hands by your side because you think it's more professional, like, don't worry, you can use your hands and it is actually more engaging, and people are going to respond better to your videos. Okay, so like just really allow yourself to be bigger than life. It's a video, you're allowed to, and just kind of get into it, have fun with it, and do let your personality shine. Like that is where the confidence really comes into it. Like just allowing yourself to come out into the video and just do it. And then a couple of things that it's best to avoid doing, because it's going to make you look unconfident and uncomfortable, is like looking away, or like away from the camera, speaking towards the other section, or things like that. Something that comes across as aggressive or like you don't want someone's attention is actually lifting your face too much. So some people have a tendency to kind of go like this as they're talking. I'm exaggerating it now, but even if you just go like this, it's actually less engaging than looking straight at the camera. Okay, so the angle of your face can affect how people respond to your video as well. These are a lot of things to consider, and again, you don't have to get everything perfect from the beginning. I'm just giving you some ideas now that you can work with, and we can, like, one thing at a time, get better. Like the most important thing is to try and then review, which we're going to get into in a little bit. And then, yeah, the other thing that I would avoid doing if you can is like slouching. It doesn't come across as like comfortable, confident, like where you don't even look that good. So like avoid slouching, sitting up straight, and just being confident, feeling confident. That is going to come across in the way that you do your videos. So they are the important things when it comes to during the video. And for like the final thing that I really did want to highlight here is that like you and your personality, and kind of owning your personality, is what is really, really important here. So just kind of being accepting of that. Everyone has a different kind of strength, and a different, what you do is different than what anyone else on this call here does, and that is kind of the beauty of it. It's about accepting what you have to bring to the table, and like truly owning that. To demonstrate this, I wanted to share my screen with two different videos, which you may have heard or seen before, because these are two very different. One is an herbalist who is has a pretty big following on Instagram and TikTok, and another one has a very different style of communicating on YouTube videos with longer vlogs about her daily life. And so I wanted to just give a little short example of how you can still be confident in different ways, because not everyone has to do like a certain style. It really just does depend on you, your purpose of your video, and how you want your videos to turn out. So I'm going to share my screen, share my sound as well. All right, that should work.
Dandelions are one of my favorite spring flowers, and I feel like people spend so much time complaining about them when they could just be eating them. Let's make one of my favorite recipes, dandelion flower fritters. Oh! The practice tornado siren's going off. That's when you know you're in Ohio. First, go ahead and gather yourself a nice little bowl of dandelion flowers. Some words of wisdom from someone who's done this before. Gather in places you know haven't been sprayed. Dandelions only open up all the way on sunny days, so wait for a sunny day to make this recipe. Make sure you gather your dandelions shortly before you're going to use them so they don't turn into little poofy seed heads when you're not looking. But also leave enough time for your bowl to sit outside for a few minutes so any ant stragglers can escape. Let's get these babies inside and get cooking. Here are our flowers. Here is our batter. Here is the batter recipe if you want to pause and follow exactly what I did. Don't judge all the cross-outs. I'm recipe testing for my book. But the great thing is you can kind of riff on the batter and make it however you want to be. Saltier, sweeter, whatever floats your boat. Now heat up a neutral, heat-resistant oil. I'm using sunflower. Okay, now when we go to the batter, it's nice and THICCC thick. Just like me. And in we go. It'll take a little over a minute for them to get golden brown on one side, and then you just kind of give them a flip, which I'm doing very poorly right now because I'm also recording. There we go. Warning, your fingers are gonna get dirty. Just have fun with it. Food should feel more like play anyway, in my opinion. Oh my God, look at these guys. Ta-da! Here are dandelion fritters, which I dressed with some wild greens from my backyard. Listen. Yeah. The flour still cuts through the batter so well. And what a tasty way to introduce people to dandelions that won't make them go bleh, bitter. If you decide to make these, tag me. I want to see what you make your batters with. Happy spring, happy snacking. Don't die! Enjoy your dandelions. Dandelions are one of my favorite spring flowers.
Okay, so I will just stop there for a minute so that we can discuss this video because I think probably a lot of herbalists have seen a video by Black Forager at some point, but it is such a good example of just like confident video, but in such a fun and engaging way. Like she has such a real way of sharing things, and you can see that her videos are not perfectly edited. They are like not that polished, but that is actually what makes them look so good. Like, and they are kind of polished because of like, that's kind of her style. She does that on purpose, but you can see she's just gone along with her video and just like done it from any angle as she does it, because that's what's easy. That's what like actually gets her to create videos. And then she puts it together. And I think the way that she would do this is just have on her camera roll, like all of these little snippets as she's recording. She would just do dung, 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 as she's actually doing it. And then we have a question in the chat, how do you edit the clips together? That is actually very easy. You can even do that on apps on your phone, or you can do it on a computer as well, depending on how you want to do it. But it's very, very easy to edit the clips together. This is the sort of thing that we're going to be actually covering tech tutorials inside the challenge that we're doing next month. So depending on which type of video you want to do, we can cover the specifics of how you want to do that, like how to create a script and those sort of things as well. We're going to be getting into the specifics of that. So that's a really kind of fun thing about this as well. But the main thing that I wanted to point out about like Black Forager and her videos is she comes across as very confident in herself. Like she just doesn't mind if it's not perfectly done or she makes mistakes. Like she on purposely includes her mistakes in the videos, because that's what makes it fun and engaging. When she says like, oh, oops, or like those sort of things, it kind of makes you go, oh, like in the video, oh, why is she showing us this? Like it makes you be more engaged, and it definitely works. You can see by her over 1 million followers on TikTok and Instagram. Like people love her videos, and even in the chat here, I'm like, so many people, I love her, I love her, I love her. And that is exactly the point. And the reason that she, in my opinion, the reason that she is doing such a good job is because she is owning who she is. Like she is just confident in herself and is sharing that. So it's not that like all of us on here today need to go out and do the same sort of videos as her and try to be funny, because she has a funny and engaging style of doing it, but someone else might have a different style of doing it. So it's really about just knowing yourself and thinking about like, what makes sense for me to do for the purpose of this video, and just like being at peace with that before you record the video. Like that is the best thing you can do. Just be accepting of yourself. You're not the same as someone else, but you're offering your energy and your expertise and your being, and that is like accentuating and like working with what you have to offer. That's the best thing. Oops, sorry, I'm still starting this one. That's not what I want to do. All right, now I have one more video to show as well, which is from a YouTuber, and you'll see how the energy of this video is different, but she still comes across as very confident. Let's have a look.
Hey. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's been an interesting week over here. There's usually been snow in the morning because it snows overnight, and then it all melts away by the end of the day. So it's been kind of chaotic weather. So I've been enjoying it though. I am always amazed every time the snow comes for the first time because it is so magical just to see everything turn white kind of mysteriously while I'm asleep. It's just really beautiful. It's a very spiritual time, if that makes any sense. It's always kind of this really interesting experience to walk through the snow and just be quiet. And even the animals seem to be reverent during the first snowfall. You know, everything is just so quiet. The event of the week has been that my dog broke his tooth, which...
Okay, I'm just going to stop there because that shows what I want to say. But you can see that the tone of this video is very different to Black Forager's video in that she is much more calm and she's talking about things like her tone is different, but she's still confident in the way that she is expressing what she's doing. And this is important to realize because it's totally okay doing one, it's totally okay doing the other, it's totally okay to do something in the middle or totally different as well, because what you do, it would depend on you. And like just realizing that you can have confidence in yourself, that is going to be the most important thing here. I did want to mention in that video that we just saw, which was of the cottage fairy on YouTube, she was smiling as she was saying that. She was also talking a lot more slowly and clearly, and that sort of video is going to make you feel more calm and at ease as well. So it's going to be a different either type of person who is going to be watching that video, or that person wants to get something different from that video. I personally have watched both of those videos at one time or another, but just at different times. Like I like and I feel uplifted by Black Forager, but it's kind of calming and interesting to see what the cottage fairy is doing as well. Like there's something that it's different, and just realizing that they're different but both good is a really important part of this, because being able to accept yourself and what you do best and just allow that to come across in your videos is like kind of the key ingredient. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And so we do have yes, someone's saying like one is like an adventure and the other is sitting down for a cuppa. And exactly, some people have a preference for one or the other. Some people like both. And that's exactly the point. Like not everyone does the same thing, and what you do is different as well. Like it's just the purpose of the video is different. Okay, now we're almost ready, finished. We are getting to the end of the hour. I think this session is going to go slightly over. No problem if you do need to leave, because there will be a replay, so no problem at all. But I'm going to go through like 5 kind of top tips from me and 3 more from Caitlin, and then I'll give you the details about what's coming up in February as well. So let's do this. Or maybe I'll do it the other way around. I am going to do it the other way around. I'm going to tell you about the challenge first, and then I will tell you about the extra secrets. I think that makes more sense. So this is what we've got coming up in February, which is the camera confidence challenge. And so what it's going to do is we're going to be running from the 1st of February to the 28th of February. This is something that I have organized for the Herbal Circle members. So everyone who's part of the Herbal Circle, you will automatically get access to this. If you are not currently part of the Herbal Circle, you can either join the Herbal Circle, or you can sign up just for the challenge. That's also an option. So I will just pop these links into the chat. This is to join this Herbal Circle, and this is to join just for the challenge, okay? There are 2 different options there. But basically it'll be running from the 1st to the 28th. On the 1st, we'll be getting like a kind of overview booklet with what's coming up, the different phases, to help you work out, like to plan out, first of all, like which videos you're going to be creating. And then we'll be getting into specific tips. So for example, in today's session, we've already covered that some people don't know how to like kind of glue together 2 different videos to make one video, like what Black Forest did. She had like maybe 100 videos to make that 2-minute video. And so how do you do that? We'll be doing a tech tutorial exactly on that. And we'll have things like that throughout the whole month. And by the end of the challenge, the idea is that everyone who like kind of participates is going to have at least three pieces of video, 3 content videos that you have created. These might be webinars, they might be lives that you've done, they might be reels. It can be any type of video. You can choose what it is, but the idea is that I want there to be 3. It's not a big number, like it's less than 1 per week for 3 to be completed. And that is like for a specific reason as well. It's because the focus of this challenge is on getting out there, being more confident, and it, like ideally quality videos. You do not have to do a ton of videos. It is honestly, like, even for the algorithms, 1 per week is quite sufficient to remain relevant. So you don't need to like go out there and do 1 per day or anything like that. 3 is enough for the month of February. And the idea is, through doing this and actually getting out there and like making videos with the feedback of other people inside the challenge, you'll be able to improve the way that you show up on video and have more confidence and like that confidence that you build during this month, that we actually intentionally get out there and do this in February. You'll be able to bring that forward forever, because when you do start to become more confident, it's truly like a skill that you bring up inside you that you can bring out, like I said, in social situations, when you want to do other videos, like anything into the future. So it's like, it's really important for this. And also a network of herbalists to support you, because you'll be joining the Herbal Circle for the February month. You'll be able to join in with the sessions and like have those people to connect with. And we'll also be sharing links of our videos. So specifically for this month, we can like follow each other and like comment on each other's video, give them a like, to really support and hopefully get traction as well if we're posting on social media. And then finally, I did want to mention as well, and this will be open to everyone, like a wider Herbal Entrepreneur event. We're going to have a showcase on the 28th of February. And so this is where I'm going to be having a session similar to this one, but with the primary purpose of celebrating what people have done throughout the challenge. Okay, and so this is about showcasing what you do, and so I'll just be showing different videos, ones that I think are creative and cool and what people have posted during the month of February. And it's really just about celebrating what you've done and allowing other people to see what you've done, and it'll be an opportunity for promotion for you, but also to inspire each other as well, is what it's about. So this is, like I said, February 1st to 28th, we're going to be doing the Confidence on Camera Challenge. And yeah, you can join either way, like by joining the Herbal Circle or just for the challenge. There's 2 options there. Okay, if you have any questions about that, let me know. But we will get now into the 5 secrets that are the most important for me in being confident on camera and posting it to the thing. Oh, I did actually realize though, before I do that, I forgot one little thing, because we did the during, but I had folded down here the after, which I didn't say about before. And so on the after, it's important to review your video. And in particular, watch your videos without sound, because that will make you read language is like, okay, because it is really interesting. So if you have already created some sort of video, I would encourage you to go back, turn the sound off and watch it. Okay, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's interesting, because without the sound, it makes you really look at what your body is doing. Like if you're like, just if there's no sound and you can just see this, it's different to like it's and so you'll see how engaging you are based on the sound that comes out. So if you already have videos, go ahead and review that. That's like a really good tip that, again, this coach that I worked with shared with me, that I was like, oh, wow, when you start to actually watch videos without sound. And it's a really nice way to review your body to allow you to make some tweaks as well to get better at that. But now that I've kind of covered all of the content that I did before, we will get into the 5 secrets. So the 5 secrets that have helped me specifically in becoming more confident on camera is to realize that the first step is always the hardest, okay? So really just get out there and try to do at least one video. Like, it is going to be the hardest. That first video that you do is going to be the hardest one because it's something that you've never done before. But once you have done one, the second one is going to be so much easier, and the third one so much easier after that. And the more you do it, the more comfortable and the more confident you will become, and the easier it gets as a process overall. So like, really just remember that first step is the hardest. If you have never created a video before, like I know that quite a few people on this call said they never had at the beginning of this call, I would really recommend trying, okay? In the next 7 days before the end of January, can you create one video? Okay, like, can you do one? It may even just be recording yourself without posting it, like it just to record yourself and see how it comes out. That's also okay. Number 2 is the camera angle makes a difference, okay? So like, really think about where you keep that camera and keep it simple, okay? Like I said, today I'm using not a professional microphone because I wanted a more simple setup, and I think that the like slightly less quality audio is an okay trade-off. It's completely free and no microphone somewhere around me and not feeling burdened by that. So I decided not to do that, and just having the camera angle looking straight at you or like a little bit above you is actually even better. Again, I did that at use today, but like it would actually be better if it was slightly higher and looking slightly down at me, and having your face near the top of the frame is really important. My notes failed just a second. Okay, so first step is the hardest. Camera angle makes a difference. Number 3 is do what works for you. This is so important. Like, really experiment and see what works with you. The more you do it, the more you will kind of develop a style, and the more kind of you will fit into your groove. It really is a matter of working out what works for you and going with that. Number 4 is make it fun and smile. So like, the very first thing that I mentioned today was like, is the video that you're doing, does it excite you? Does it light you up? Do you want to do it? Like, make sure you're choosing to create videos on something you love. Most of us here are herbalists, and most of us here like to talk about plants. So you're already in a good place as far as that goes. But really do think about, like, does that particular video, that topic, light you up? Is it something that makes you want to go for it or not? And follow that and just smile as you do it. Show that you're happy to be there. And number 5 is all it takes is practice. Like, this is really, I would love you to take this home and remember, because like, practice is the most important thing. The more videos that you record, the more you get out there and do this, the better you will become. Even if you do seem really uncomfortable and you kind of don't want to show anyone those first videos that you take, that's okay, because they're the first videos you take. And like, honestly, we're all learning. And I look back at videos that I took 3 years ago and think, oh goodness. And I will most likely look back at this video in 5 years and say, oh, what the heck was I doing? But it's all part of the process. And ideally, we are all continuously going to become better. And it does come down to practice. So that is what is important for me. So those five secrets that I came up with today are: the first step is the hardest. Camera angle makes a difference. And do what works for you. Make it fun and smile, and all it takes is practice. And then we do have 3 extra tips from Caitlin, who is also going to be helping us throughout the Confidence on Camera Challenge in February. So her tips were, number 1, no pressure, okay? So film yourself without feeling like you have to post. And if it doesn't work out, just take another day, okay? So like that is a really good idea. Like if you're feeling like, oh, you just don't even want to record because it takes too much effort and like that, like just take that level of pressure off. Realize that you can just not worry. You don't have to post it. Just record without that pressure, and then you see how it goes. The second tip from Caitlin, it comes down to actually posting it. And this is a good point that I didn't come across today, that I didn't mention today, that often you create a video, but it's just like, it makes you nervous sharing that with people and seeing their feedback. So you kind of put it off. You might have this library of really good videos, but you don't actually post them because you are a little bit nervous about that. So Caitlin's technique for that is 3, 2, 1, post. And that is a good way to just do it. Like, let it go, don't worry, and see how it comes out there, like without expectation. It doesn't have to get a ton of likes. It doesn't matter like what that reaction is. I mean, it's worth considering because it will help you improve in the future. But as far as actually getting out and posting it, just remove that expectation and let it go. And so I think Caitlin literally does that. She just like counts down 3, 2, 1 and click, posting it. And so that could be a good way if you have like some difficulty with actually hitting post. And the third tip from Caitlin is that no one cares. No one cares as much as you do. So just like be a little bit serious, less serious, take the pressure off and just put it out there. I mean, it's fun. No one cares as much as you do. So just put it out there and see what happens. So these are the ones from Caitlin, where no pressure, film yourself without feeling like you have to post it, and just take another day, take another day if you need to. 3, 2, 1 post to actually get the video out there into the world. And remember that no one cares, and that really just it's so much more important for you than for anyone else out there. So seriously, and just do it, basically. They are that brings us to the end of today's session. Like I mentioned earlier, this is really to set us up for the challenge that is coming on the 1st of February. I hope that today's session has given us a bit of a base to work from, but we will be getting into the specifics throughout the month of February. Before we do completely wind up for today though, I would love to answer any questions that you have and open up the connection between everyone who's on here today. I believe, like Caitlin, have you been keeping track of any questions throughout, or would you be able to let me know what those are? Okay.
Yes, I sent some to you through Facebook Messenger.
Okay, cool. Totally logged into a different account. Okay.
I could put them in Slack if that's better.
You can also, yeah, the Slack will get notifications. I may, hang on, I can open it up on here, then I'll be fine. All right, let's do this. This one. Yeah, I have actually issues with Facebook on that account. Oh, hang on, maybe. No, I got it. Okay. All right, cool. Okay. When you are making videos in your garden or out in the world, how do you hold your phone? Do you have a holder? That's a really good technical question. And yes, I do have a holder. And I've got a good little tip again that I learned from my coach that I can share with you today. Wait a second. I have a selfie stick. I have one, like a really simple one like this, that you like basically lift out like this. You put your phone in this section, and then it goes out as far as you want. And you can either put like out a little thing like this, and it can stand up straight if you want to, or you can just hold it like this. It's very simple. Like this one was like less than $10. It was very simple. But I actually keep this in my bag all the time at the bottom of my backpack. So I basically take a backpack everywhere I go because I have little kids that still need nappies changed. And I literally keep my selfie stick in the nappy bag because I take that everywhere I go usually. And then whenever like inspiration strikes, I am able to take videos. And it does happen for me. Like I just sometimes like, all right, now it's just the moment to take a video. I'm in the zone, I'm in the energy, I'm just gonna do it. And I just do it. And that's a good way to do it as well, is just having it out there. And the issue is like, it's worthwhile keeping in mind that if you're holding this, you only have one hand free to talk if you hold it literally yourself. If you use the stand, you have both hands free. I prefer the stand because I have both hands free, but I have the issue that sometimes it falls over if it's on uneven ground, because often I'm out in the garden or something like that. So if you have a look at my YouTube videos, you'll see that often I actually am only using one hand, and that is because I'm holding the other one. And the tip that I was going to share is that holding the stick close to your body, it helps to keep the camera a little bit more stable, and also helps to keep your hand close to your heart is what my coach was teaching me, as far as it's more grounding, and it can help as well. I still prefer to have both hands using to talk often, but it is more stable to be holding it myself, the stick. So if I just don't want the camera to fall over, I just hold it and deal with one hand. But yeah, a selfie stick is a good idea, but I sometimes do just hold the camera like that as well. But it is like uncomfortable, and the angle is not as good if you're holding it with your hand, because you're a bit too close and you just look uncomfortable. So a stick is a really good idea. It is a very good investment. I would mention, if I was getting it again, I would probably get one with the flexible legs at the end. So I think I'm pretty sure other people have them, but like flexible legs are a bit better in my opinion, because you can wrap them around things. So if you're near a tree or something like that, you could just wrap it around a tree and then take your video, and it's not going to fall over because it's literally just holding onto the tree. And I think especially for I would probably recommend one like that. But like apart from that, I'm happy with this one. I'm not going to buy another one just for the flexible legs. But if you haven't bought one yet, we'd probably go with the flexible legs. The other question that we had, okay, someone mentioned putting your phone in airplane mode, and like I'm wondering why that is. This can be to like reduce notifications as well. Like I think that's probably the main reason, so you don't get dings and things like that. This is also, if you're going to be doing like webinars or this sort of thing like what we're doing now on your computer, it's a really good idea to go into the notifications of your screen and do not disturb mode. I definitely do that so that I don't get like little notifications that distract me. And yeah, airplane mode just allows you to focus on the video rather than other things. Are you using video record in your camera section on your phone? Yes, that is literally what I do. So I literally just go to camera, and also don't let that confuse things too much. Like whatever phone that you currently have, most likely it is good enough quality to create videos. Okay, I currently have an iPhone 11, which is what I use, and it's really good quality. But up until 2 years ago, I had an iPhone 6 that I was using, which was quite old at that time, but it was honestly fine. Like it's just, don't overcomplicate it. Don't think like you need the best phone to record, and really whatever whatever you have, you can make work, and just start from there. And if nothing else, you get that practice and you actually get to show up on camera and record, which is the most important part. So yeah, really do that. Okay, so how does one edit or stitch together to create a TikTok or a reel? There's lots of different ways to do this. You can actually do it directly into Instagram. So you can click the videos and you can shorten them to put them in. With a really long one, with lots of takes, like what Black Forager was doing, I would be a little bit hesitant about doing it there, just because it can sometimes freeze up and things like that, and you might lose a lot of work. And so you can also do in other apps on your phone as well. There are several different ones that you can use. I have personally used KineMaster 5 is what I've got on my phone. That's the one. So
what
that's
is
an
that
app that I've used. If anyone else has used, I can write this in the chat, but if anyone else has used video editing software apps on their phone, there are actually several. So if you have one that you would like to recommend, feel free to write that into the chat, because that is honestly fine. Okay. Is it better to video directly from camera lenses on? Is it better to video directly from camera lenses on? What does that mean? Like camera lenses on? I'm not sure what that means.
I think she clarified in the chat, actually. You can probably just read the questions in the chat.
Or the back of your phone rather than videoing. Oh, got it. So yes. Oh, I got what you mean. So you're meaning like, is it better? Hang on, I'm gonna bust to get in here. But this camera or this camera, is that what you're meaning? Yes. Yeah, okay. So usually it depends on which phone you have, but usually the cameras on the back of your phone have a better quality than the one on the front. Okay, so usually it's a higher quality on this one. So if I'm recording for like YouTube or something like that, I typically do it on the back of my phone like this, and I have it set up in here. So I would like put it in like here, and I would do some test recording. So I would most likely test this. Usually for the higher quality ones, I don't hold it. That's like, because you want the frame to be right. You want you to be in the right spot on the camera as well. So I would usually like hit record over here and then go record, say it over here, and then come back and watch it before I actually record for the video. And it's totally fine as well if there's parts of the video that you have to delete at the beginning, because it's really easy to do that with any video editing app or software afterwards. So like I usually record videos by myself. I don't think I've ever recorded a video with help with someone. It would be cool, but I don't have a video team that helps me. So usually I would like literally set my phone up somewhere, then like hit record and then come over here and then I would have a breath and then stop and then talk, so that then I can cut out me walking in and having a breath before I record. And then you can stitch them together on those apps that we mentioned there. Okay. But yeah, so what I was saying is, if I was doing YouTube, I would use these ones. But for like Facebook Lives or like quick short videos, I often actually use the camera on the front, because it does have a slightly lower quality, but I prefer to have the ease of being able to see comments on my screen. And also if it's a really quick video that I don't have time to like check where I am on the screen, it's easier to check where I am on the screen this way. And like, honestly, the quality is different. Like there is a significant quality between the two videos, the two cameras, but it's not a big issue. Like I do use the front camera sometimes. Don't feel like you can never use the front camera. It is okay if you're like kind of in a quick thing, and just realize that it's a slightly less quality. And so it's more about usability for that case. Like today, how I'm not using my good microphone, because I wanted just to have all of this space in front of me free without worrying about where the microphone is and stuff like that. The name of the teleprompter app that I use, I assume that was probably in the chat already, but it's Big View. I think that's, did I miss any, Kate? Let me know. Caitlin also mentioned in the chat, inshot.com is another, InShot I've also heard of. And the other way that I often do it for YouTube videos is to just upload the videos, the ones from my camera roll, the ones that I take for the video, I upload them to the cloud or whatever, and then download them to my computer, and I just use the iMovie on my laptop, or any movie editor as well, you can do like that, but I often do it directly on my computer. All right, I think that brings us to good question about lighting. Okay, so this is also like a little kind of funny, because I have a ring light that's like and I also have LED lights. I can show you just a second, but I'm not using it today. That's why I feel a little bit bad about this, but we'll just go with it anyway. So for the conference, I use this bag of lights that takes a long time to set up, and it has like these lights on the side of me to light up the background as well. And it has, no, I can't get it out. Here's why I don't use it all the time. Hang on. Anyway, I can't get it out. But it's basically like a big circle about the size of my body. It's all orange, this color, to make it not look too white. But today I'm actually just using that light, which is it's literally just a lamp, but it's kind of cool because I actually really like, this is an old one that we just had in our house anyway before I was doing videos, but I actually really like it because it has like you can change the gradient of how bright the light is, and how bright the light is, I'll show you on me, it affects how white you look. So like look at my skin, it kind of changes what you look like, and so you can choose how bright you want to be. Like, it's too bright, that's I think what I had it on roughly there. And also the professional light has like that as well. It has like a gradient so that you can choose the exact one. The big ring light like that, they're not expensive either. It's, I think mine is $30-$40 around that mark. It is annoying to set it up though. Like, I have to say, it's annoying to set it up. So like, it is worthwhile to choose something that is useful for you. Another quick trick is if you're filming inside during the daytime, the best thing to do is just to put your camera up next to a window and face the window. Then you get all of this lovely natural light coming in onto your face, and you look so much more lit up and good. Whereas like the worst thing you can do is to have your back to a window. Unless you have a big light coming in your face, because the natural light coming in the window is often enough. But otherwise, just a simple lamp with that gradient of light can work really well. Okay, good. I think, oh yeah, Caitlin, go for it.
What app did you mention for editing?
For editing, I used KineMaster. It's KineMaster, KineMaster. But yeah, that one worked for me. I think there is a free version of that and a paid version. I believe I have the paid version, but again, it wasn't expensive. It was like an annual kind of not hugely expensive kind of thing. I can't quite remember exactly how much it is. But yeah, it's pretty easy to do. And like for reels, you can do it directly in Instagram as well, which is what a lot of people do. You just like in Instagram, go to the video that you want, like in your reel, and you like click on it and it comes in, and then you can like literally drag the ends of the video this way and that way to make it just the part that you want. And then you drag a new video down and you drag the ends. And so then that's how it just automatically glues them together, like one and then the other and then the other. And you can put like 50 videos in there and then just drag them all to the exact point that you want, which it's pretty quick to do in the end if you try to do it. And it is kind of easier because it's directly there and you just do it. If you've got like less than 10 clips, I would probably just do it straight into Instagram. If you've got more than 10 clips, I would maybe do it somewhere else because it's less likely to crash, or you just have like a record of it somewhere else apart from Instagram or TikTok, etc. Shami is, can you edit video in Canva? Yes, I believe you can. I don't personally do that right now. It's not the program that I use, but I believe that you can edit video directly in Canva. And I believe you can also do that on your phone. Is there anyone who does that here on the chat? I'm not sure. But yes, I believe you can. Again, I haven't personally done that. I'm just going with what I've heard. I'm fairly sure that you can edit it on Canva. So yeah, I think that does bring us to the end of the questions for today's session. But like I said, we're going to be focusing on this topic for all of February. So if you have other questions, you can just join us there then. And we'll be going into specifics of check tutorials. So we might like choose a couple of different apps and take you through how to do that, like including Instagram, TikTok, and maybe InShot and KineMaster, something like that. And then we'll be getting into the specifics as well, like how to create a script, because there are really, really important things to do, like creating a hook at the beginning of the video, how to get people interested in watching the rest of your videos, and like what sort of thumbnails you should put on. Like there's like all these like intricacies that we obviously don't have time to cover in today's session, but we can talk about this in more detail throughout the whole month of February, which is what we're going to be doing. So yeah, I hope that you'll be able to join us, whether that be just for the challenge or in the Herbal Circle. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on today. I know we've got people joining from all over the world, and it has been really fun. And it sounds like everyone else has enjoyed it as much as I've been enjoying it. Yay! Like, yeah, can't wait. It'll be fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, love the knowledge. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, thank you. Oh, great. Well, thank everyone on here as well just for showing up. I know I did actually go 30 minutes over what I was intending on doing. So yeah, thank you for sticking it out to the end. I hope you've enjoyed it. And basically, I hope to see you as well in February for the Confidence on Camera Challenge. I didn't mention before, there are literally going to be prizes for this as well, based on like the actions that you take. I really want to reward people who take actions. So based on the creativity, on the videos that you create, and just getting out there and doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable, I'm going to be rewarding that. So yeah, however you join, whether that be in the Herbal Circle or in the challenge, I hope that you will be there for this in going into February. And yeah, I hope to see you there, and I hope you also have a wonderful day and weekend going forward. Enjoy everyone, and I will see